Back in Black. That one album shook the planet in 1980, and ACDC became legends. Fast forward 40 years, and the odds were stacked against them. Loss, illness, silence. But somehow, they returned. In 2020, ACDC released Power Up, and it wasn't just an album. It was a defiant, electric resurrection. Let's dive into the full story of how this miracle comeback happened. By 2016, ACDC was falling apart. Brian Johnson was forced to stop touring or risk total deafness.
I went outside to the car and I looked down and I just went, all right, it's not cancer.
Drummer Phil Rudd on house arrest after criminal charges. Bassist Cliff Williams retired. And rhythm guitarist Malcolm Young, Angus's older brother and creative co-pilot, had been diagnosed with dementia. It was more than lineup trouble. This was the soul of ACDC unraveling. After Malcolm's passing in 2017, fans braced for the end. The band had given us 4 decades of thunder, but the amps were finally going quiet. But Angus Young wasn't done. As the last original member, he went deep into the vault, pulling out riffs and demos he'd written with Malcolm over the years. It was therapy. It was legacy. It was survival. Behind the scenes, a quiet but remarkable comeback began. Brian Johnson, with help from a YouTube-discovered audio expert, tested a new experimental hearing device. It let him hear and sing again.
What it is basically a raisinette in your ears. And the things at the back, they're pumps. The brain really doesn't care where it's getting the sound from. What he's created is 2 prosthetic eardrums.
Phil Rudd had completed his sentence and was focused on rehab after a minor heart attack. Stevie Young, Malcolm's nephew, took up rhythm guitar, keeping the Young name alive on stage. And Cliff Williams, out of retirement, signed on one last time to pay tribute to Malcolm. It was more than nostalgia. This was about honoring a brother, a band, and the power of rock. Then came Power Up, and right out the gate, you could feel it. The opener, Realize, hits like an anthem, a tight groove, a riff that coils before it strikes. Then Shot in the Dark, a fusion of AC/DC swagger and a slightly modern rhythm without ever sounding trendy. And Through the Mists of Time, that one stands apart. It's reflective, emotional, almost cinematic. It's AC/DC doing something rare, looking back. Brian's voice is weathered but strong, and the lyrics hit different when you know who they're thinking about. Each track carried echoes of Malcolm, riffs he helped shape. His DNA is all over the record. Brendan O'Brien returned as producer, tightening the mix without smothering it. Some critics said it was too polished, but let's be real, this isn't garage rock. This is AC/DC in 2020. You've got Witch's Spell with that cheeky, classic innuendo. Kick You When You're Down, pulsing with grit and groove. Wild Reputation, where Brian digs into his lower register while the band backs him up. And then there's Demon Fire. Angus goes full blues mode, raw, nasty, hypnotic. The closer, Code Red, is a thrill ride of familiar riffs and lines about highways, hell, and loud guitars. It's almost a victory lap. The energy? Still 11 out of 10. The formula? Still simple, still sacred. Here's what's wild. Power Up dropped in the middle of a global pandemic. Venues were shut down, tours were canceled, the music world was in survival mode. And yet, AC/DC came roaring back, dropping an album that topped charts in 21 countries and became the best-selling rock album of the year. No TikTok trends, no viral dances. Just 5 guys in their 60s and 70s plugging in and playing the music they've always played. Loud, loose, and with 0 apologies. Brian Johnson said it best. We wanted to give people something to lift their spirits, something loud. That kind of intent shows. Power Up wasn't trendy, it was timeless. So where does that leave AC/DC in 2025? There's been no official word on another tour or album. The band has been mostly quiet since the Power Up cycle ended. Angus, now in his 70s, hasn't ruled out more music, but nothing's confirmed. Johnson, Rudd, Williams, all technically retired or semi-active. But hey, so were they before Power Up. Maybe that was their last spark. maybe they've got one more surprise left. Either way, Power Up felt like more than a last album. It was closure, a thank you, a bolt of lightning from a band that always saw itself as pure electric energy. What did Power Up mean to you? Was it the perfect send-off, or a reminder that ACDC still has more juice left? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them all. Hit like if this got your speakers shaking, and subscribe for more music deep dives. And remember, rock may fade from the charts, but legends don't retire. They recharge.